How do you feel about internships while in college?
I think internships are absolutely necessary. I think that if you can do internships, make sure you take full advantage of them. It's a lot about we're in if guys don't know this, we're in one of the worst. We're recovering from one of the worst economic times. People with master's degrees, people with doctorates, a lot of people that have degrees don't have jobs, right? So what is the difference between those who are working or those who can keep finding opportunities? It's the relationships that they build. So as you start to work at these internships and you start to build these relationships, you don't know who this person is. This person that you're interning for, if you do a great job with them, they might be the president of another company or CEO of something, right? You don't know where they're going to be. So those internships are going to give you lasting relationships. Also, if some of you guys are going to be entrepreneurs, you're going to start your own business. When you start your own business, you worked at an internship, you built certain relationships. So now if you want to do business with one of the places that you've done an internship at, it's going to be a little easier because you've already made that connection. And so one thing I'm going to say about internships, because a lot of times people don't do, what's the main reason why people don't do internships or they don't want to do internships? They're not paying, right? So they're not paying money. That's the number one reason. I'm not going to do this for free, right? It's because they're not paying. I'm going to tell you the biggest secret to my success. So I just turned 30 November 13th of 2010, right? So prior to turning 30 though, I managed 6 branches, right? So I ran the bank. Like I was the guy who hired and fired and made sure that we made our numbers, all of that good stuff, right? And I did all of that. I was a vice president at JP Chase at 24 years old, right? And I'm gonna tell you the secret to that. The secret was that I always did more than I was paid to do. Always. I always did more than I was paid to do. I was a teller, and everybody looked down at the teller position like, I'm a teller, you gotta take the transactions, I'm not gonna do the things of that nature, right? I was a teller, and I said, you know what? I wanna know what customer service is doing. I'm interested in seeing what they're doing. So while I was a teller and everybody was like, oh, they're pivot hash, oh, he's out there, they got him standing on the floor doing customer service stuff, they're not paying him. Guess what happened when a customer service rep got sick? Who they called to come out and do it? Me, right? Guess what happens when the customer service rep gets promoted and they needed someone to fill in? Guess who got the position? Me. I was a teller for 8 months. Did customer service for 2 months, then I was a personal banker. Opening accounts, helping people. I was still in college, helping people save for college for their kids, right? Because I always did more than I was paid to do. So as I was a personal banker, I was learning the manager role, and when they came out with a branch manager training program, I was the first in line because I showed the initiative. So a word to the wise, do the internships. Even when you get a job, work harder than the person next to you because you have to be in the game to win. And as long as you're working harder and you know the job, you'll get those opportunities. And even if the job that you're working for right now does not appreciate that, right? One thing that no one can ever take away from you is knowledge. So once you have that knowledge of how to do the position, you don't necessarily have to wait for that place to give you that promotion. You can actually start to interview or go to other places, go to the competitor and say, hey competitor, I'm a teller, but I know how to be a personal banker. Interview me, and you can get your way that way. Don't wait for anybody, but make sure you get that knowledge. So with internships, that's how you get the knowledge. Then no one can ever take that away from you.